Hello and welcome. I am so happy that you have decided to join me today in this workshop on helping you make this Ramadan your best Ramadan. My name is Dr. Nirvana Gabala, and my goal here is to help you reach your Ramadan goals, whatever they may be, and for you to feel happy, peaceful, satisfied, and fulfilled throughout the month of Ramadan and when Ramadan ends. In this part one series, I am going to be bringing to light some things you may already know and possibly things that are new to you. And I hope that this workshop is of benefit to you and allows you to reflect on past Ramadan do's and don'ts. Most importantly, I will be talking about how to maintain your motivation throughout Ramadan and how to ultimately achieve the goals you set out for yourself, whether it be completing the Quran or praying obligatory and sunnah prayers, or maintaining a healthy weight during the month, and so on. So a little bit about myself. I am a naturopathic doctor as well as a mental health counselor, and I am an expert in utilizing natural means to help people reach their optimal physical and mental health. And by natural, what I mean is I use diet, vitamin and mineral supplementation, hydrotherapy, and even homeopathy. And I've worked with countless people in helping them detox their bodies, increase their energy throughout the day, and I've helped them live a more fulfilling and satisfying life. My treatment plans are centered around both the physical and mental health because, to be quite honest, both play a key role in overall function of the body. Besides all that, I am a wife, and I most recently became a mom to a 1-month-old baby girl, Rose, who is pictured here on the right. And that's me and my husband on the left. Um, besides all these titles that I have, most importantly, I am a Muslim, and I've been through the struggles of it all in the month of Ramadan. I've been drained of energy while fasting. I've quote unquote lost motivation, after the first week of Ramadan, where I was gung ho. I'm going to accomplish these goals, and then by the second week abandon them. I've gained weight in that time period when you're actually supposed to be losing weight because you are fasting. I've also, had that time pressure on me, trying to get the iftar prepared, and I constantly would miss out on the golden time, which I say is, that time before breaking your fast, where it's the best time to make dua. Every Ramadan, I've said that this was going to be different. This was going to be the best Ramadan, and then have past year mistakes repeated. And though I've had these struggles, I've also been able to find ways I could sustain my energy throughout the day and stick to my goals the entire month of Ramadan. I created for myself a program that I was able to stick to experience the best Ramadan I have ever had. And the reason I put this workshop together and I put a whole course together is for you to be able to do the same and experience what I've experienced. Now, the best thing about working on your goals now is that you have the least amount of resistance you will ever have in the entire year. And that is because there are always pitfalls and obstacles when achieving something. But in the month of Ramadan, those obstacles and pitfalls are a little bit less because you only have yourself to battle. Any other time during the year, it's not just your nafs, it's not just yourself who you have to battle against and that whispering, the voice inside your head, but then you also have to deal with the whispering in your ear. Most importantly, if you're in this workshop with me right now, I really want to commend you for this because it shows you're really dedicated and are more likely to achieve your goals than anyone else around you. And that is a very big deal. Now let's go back to these obstacles I was talking about, the napping, wanting to nap because you don't have energy, not having enough time. These are all things that can be dealt with and fought. But the real culprit, I would say, to why most people don't achieve their Ramadan goals is Pam. the acronym PAN, which stands for plausibility, accountability, and motivation. So let's get to it. Now, with plausibility and accountability, I will basically talk about it in a general way. I'll give examples, but then we're going to really focus on, in this workshop, motivation. So let's begin. With plausibility, you are asking yourself, is your plan reasonable? Is it doable? Is it achievable? The reality is, to master this part, your values need to be aligned to your goals. So for example, if your goal is, let's say, to join the Peace Corps, but you don't see the merit or the value in service to humanity, then that goal is most likely going to fall through. And with your value or belief comes who you are, which is your identity. So again, if you are, if your goal is to join the Peace Corps, your identity is, of someone who's giving, caring, service-oriented, sacrificial to bring on a better life for someone in need. So not accomplishing your goals, in order for you to stick to them more, needs to somehow be connected to your identity, okay? The next thing is accountability. Do you have someone who's supporting you on your goals? Or do you have someone that you are going back to and talking about your goals? Do you have someone who's watching over you and making sure that you complete your goals? Studies have shown that those who made public their goals were more likely to see them through because now they had eyes on them, seeing if they would fulfill them. In other words, they created their own sense of accountability by making them public. They know that people may ask them where they are in achieving their goals, and thus were more likely to stick to them. So those two are in a nutshell, but we're going to be expanding on motivation. Now, what is motivation? The root word motive means a reason for a particular action. Therefore, motivation comes from having a clear reason on why you want to take on a particular action. When you think about anything that you've ever done in your life, why do you ever do anything in your life in the first place? More often than not, it's because of the end results you want to get to. So for example, having the motivation to lose weight, usually it's something that a lot of people make as a New Year's resolution, lose weight. The end result for someone who wants to lose weight is they want to look good in their clothes, or they want to feel good about themselves. And they remind themselves constantly about this end result to keep them committed to their goal. And ultimately, to reach your end goal, you have to make choices along the way. Choices about the meals you eat. Will it be a chocolate cake or a fruit salad for dessert? Will you work out today or not? People lose their motivation when the choices they make don't feel like choices anymore. And that brings me to reason number one for why people, quote unquote, lose their motivations. It's because they lose their personal freedom. Even though we make these goals for ourselves, somewhere along the line, we lose the feeling of personal freedom. Our goals become burdens, things we have to do rather than want to do. And here I put together a formula of a condensed version of exactly what motivation entails. You have your personal freedom, which means having the ability to make choices for yourself, which gives you the sense of wanting to do something for yourself, and then ultimately the motivation to put it into action. So let me give you an example of this. Think of a child being asked to clean his room. If a child doesn't jump at the chance to clean his room, it's because he doesn't want to. After all the nagging, he finally gets up and does it. And what motivates him to finally get up and clean his room is the want for the nagging from his mom to end. So in any circumstance, in any action, there is a want behind it. It may not be a want that is clear or obvious, but there is a want of something. And that is why incentives to completing chores are so popular. A parent rewards a child for completing their chores with money at the end because that is more likely what's going to make the child complete their chores in the first place. The child doesn't want to do the chore, but wants the money that he will get afterwards. Now, with this reason of losing motivation, the solution is to actually live a genuine life. And let me break it down for you. Having personal freedom means having independence. And with independence comes responsibility of your choices. The independence you have as an adult means you can make your own decisions. For breakfast, for example, are you going to eat oatmeal and fruit, or are you going to have ice cream? You have to make your choices consciously and intentionally, and you make these choices usually based on what your beliefs or your morals or your values or your ethics or your purpose are in life. So by living a genuine life, you are aligning your decisions to your values, thus giving you independence you can be happy with and personal freedom to continue making those good decisions. I know it feels like a load of information, and this might be something that you'd have to come back to and just reflect on a little bit more. But ultimately, living a genuine life helps keep your goals aligned to your values and thus gives you the motivation to keep you going. The next reason people don't achieve their goals and quote unquote lose motivation is they get distracted. And the reason why I say quote unquote lose is because people don't actually lose motivation. People lose focus. People get distracted by the world and other responsibilities they have. You may forget for a short time the feeling you had when you first set out your goal and the reason why. And so to not get distracted by the stimulus of the world, you need, and here's solution number 2 to being distracted, is you need to give your goals attention and effort. Sustaining motivation means sustaining choices you make and making the choice over and over again. And to do that, you need to give your goals attention and you need to put in some effort. So giving attention to your goals can include, putting daily goals that you're constantly thinking about, or journaling each night, or even visualizing every day. And to achieve your goals, there will also be effort from your part. There are times you're not going to want to do what you scheduled, but you'll have to make the choice to do it anyway. And I want you to remember this: nothing worth having is effortless. When you think to an Olympian doesn't win a gold without putting in effort. The effort in their training, the effort in their meal planning. And I want you, in this time period, in Ramadan, I want you to think of yourself as an Olympian working for that gold in Ramadan. There will be resistance. I want you to expect that. And there will be resistance from yourself, but work through that anyway. Putting in the effort will give you motivation, which will then allow you to get your reward, which is the achievement of your goal. And finally, the third reason people don't have motivation is they have hope. And that actually may sound like a good thing, to have hope in your goals. But in actuality, people who don't achieve their goals have hope they will achieve them rather than know and expect they will achieve them. So that's solution number 3 to having hope for your goals, is to actually expect that your goals are achievable and possible. By having the expectation that you will achieve your goals, this actually gives you the motivation to continue working for them. In the beginning of Ramadan, you're more firm on the fact that you will achieve your goals, but something happens in the middle where your mind shifts and it becomes a hope rather than an expectation. And if you can, try to think of a moment in your life you set a goal for yourself and you didn't end up seeing it through. What was your mindset? Did you have even the slightest doubt if you would be able to achieve it? If you did, that might have been what kept you from achieving it in the first place. And I hope this workshop helped you. I know we went a bit quick with the content here, but of course this video is available to you, so you can watch it as many times as you want. Reflect on the information that I gave. If you have any comments or any opinion about this workshop, feel free to reply to any of the emails that I send out. I would love to hear your thoughts. I hope this information has helped. I want you to just sit down and think about those 3 reasons. Do they relate to you in any kind of way? Are these solutions doable or achievable or helpful for you? Let me know. I'd love to hear it. And we will talk soon.